Is the Logitech Brio, in fact, as its marketing says, the best webcam ever made? I'm going to tell you what my opinions are right now in this review. Hi, how are you? Great to see you. I'm RazMansReality, here to alter your reality on film, TV, and comics with unbiased reviews and discussion. So if you share in that passion with me and this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything. Something a little bit different today, obviously. If you are subscribed to me, now you know why I haven't been on YouTube since last Wednesday. It's because my Logitech C930E bit the dust and I had to buy a new camera before getting a new system. This is Logitech's top of the line $200 plus after tax camera, the Logitech Brio. So as I mentioned in the open, I'm going to give you my opinions on it and talk to you about whether or not it is indeed the best webcam ever made. The Brio will look like this sitting on top of your monitor and connect via a USB-C type connection to a USB 3.0 port. That USB 3.0 port is key, otherwise you're not going to be able to get full visual quality ability from the camera. My USB 3.0 is the first port that you see on the left hand side right here in this row, and you'll know it by looking at your ports and seeing that blue look. It has the blue look on the end of the connector itself, and the USB port itself is blue. The first thing you're going to notice right off the bat is that this is the world's only, and first obviously because it's the only, 60 frame per second 1080p webcam. Now if you're not a technical person and you don't know what having more frames per second means, it means that you're going to have a smoother image overall, not just when you speak, but in particular with motion. So when I start doing this, you can see how much smoother the motion is and how much less image artifacting you get when your frame rate is doubled. So besides the frames per second, what else makes this camera great? Well, you can already see that with a little bit of color correction, the visuals on this are fantastic and definitely 100% rival a point-and-shoot camera. But what happens if your footage is raw, or if you're in a situation where you're in an office and raw is all you got, not only in terms of visual quality, but in terms of audio quality as well? If you're not able to have a better mic with you, what is your raw footage going to look like? What is your sound going to sound like? So I'm going to switch over to that right now. So this is the footage straight from the camera with no color correction, as well as the onboard Logitech Brio microphone. Now, of course, being an onboard microphone, it is a little bit hollow and echoey, as any onboard microphone on any device would be, but I'm sure you'll agree that for the first time ever on a webcam, the audio quality here is not all that embarrassing, and is definitely the best onboard microphone I've ever heard from any camera other than an iDevice camera. So if you're in a situation like the one we discussed, you're going to be okay. Not great, but definitely okay. Now, the other thing that you might be curious about is you may have noticed that I prefer to use a 78-degree angle. This is for two reasons. Firstly, the way my lighting is set up, this ensures that one of my lights is not blaring at you in the image. The camera picks it up, but you, the viewer, don't have to look at it and stare at it for a long period of time. The other thing that happens is that it allows me to control how much is on the other side, preventing other things from being seen that I don't want to be seen. But what if you want to use the camera's full 90-degree angle? And what if, for whatever reason, you want things super tight and you want to have a 65-degree angle? Well, for the first time ever, with the Logitech Brio, you don't have to do these things manually with the setup on the camera. It comes with preset angles built in to the camera settings itself. So I will show you first the full 90-degree angle and then the 65-degree angle. I put myself out of frame here so you'd have an unimpeded view. So this is 90-degree angle and then this is the 65-degree angle. Something that I just realized that I forgot to mention was that your raw footage might look a little bit different depending on the kind of lighting setup that you have. For me, unfortunately, I've not been able to find daylight light bulbs in the new way that they make light bulbs, which is, of course, the low wattage but high wattage equivalent type light bulbs that allow me to be prevented from having a blue tint in my footage. So I've had to go with white light bulbs, which means that my footage is a little bit darker in tone to begin with. So just keep in mind that your lighting setup can affect your overall image quality, and it is a goal of mine to find good 100 watt equivalent daylight light bulbs. So if that's something that you are able to help me with, please let me know that in the comment section down below. So are there any negatives to this camera? Well, really, in my mind, it has two marketing ploys connected to it, and something that you should definitely be aware of. It markets itself as the world's first 4K webcam, and while it is capable of recording at 4K at 30 frames per second, I have found, and so have other reviewers that I've seen online, that it's just full of lag and nowhere near ready to record in prime time. So I would definitely not recommend using this setting. The other thing that it comes with is that it has the ability to replace your background without the need of a green screen, but I don't think I have to tell you that this is not proper in the way that you want to remove your background at all. So definitely use a green or a blue screen if this is something you want to do, and skip over the built-in feature with the camera. However, if you are looking for a 1080p 60 frame per second camera and you're in a situation where you'd rather have your camera tethered so that you can use a good XLR microphone or a high-end USB microphone, then this is definitely the camera for you. The only other thing worth pointing out to you is you may find, as I have, that every time you turn the camera on and off and go to use it, regardless of your setting, whether that be to record or to chat with, you are going to look a little blue when you first turn the camera on. This is rectified simply by going into your camera settings, whether that be in OBS or XSplit for recording, or whether that be in Skype for chatting, and just simply clicking on your white balance ticker again, and this will cause it to look the way it's intended without actually changing your white balance number. And then of course, if your white balance number does change, you simply change it back to what you know your proper setting is, click apply, and then click OK. So what then is the verdict? Is the Logitech Brio indeed the best webcam ever made? Well, in terms of being the world's first fully functional 1080p at 60 frame per second camera, which of course is the new visual standard, it definitely is the best webcam ever made, especially with its HDR enabled visual quality. In a situation where webcams are your preferred camera, whether that's just convenience or whether that's your microphone that you use on your computer being a high-end XLR or a high-end USB microphone, and not wanting to have to separate your camera and your microphone, and not wanting to have to spend the extra money on an adapter to be able to do that with your camera for an XLR or a DSLR, then this webcam is definitely worth having. In terms of performance, I give the Logitech Brio a 4.5 out of 5 star rating. As with any webcam, it is going to have its little hiccups, but in terms of performance, this is definitely the best webcam made to date. I hope you all enjoyed this review and found it very helpful. If this camera was one that you are considering, if so, please consider giving this video a thumbs up just so I know I'm on the right track. It is greatly appreciated. Also, in the comment section down below, I'm just curious, has this review sold you on this camera, and what camera do you currently use? If this review has indeed sold you on the Brio and you would like to purchase it, I would greatly appreciate it if you consider doing so via the Amazon affiliate link down below in the description. It's no extra cost whatsoever in the cost of the camera to you, but I get a small commission in terms of gift cards, which I can then use toward equipment or anything else that I want to make part of my videos here on this channel. So it is greatly appreciated. And if you would like to help the channel in that way but not purchase the camera, I also have the link that you can change your regular Amazon bookmark link to do the same thing as well. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do so right now by hitting the round icon down below me, and in the 2 spaces to the right you can learn how I've used the teachings of my friend Brian G. Johnson in his book Tube Ritual Volume 1 to grow here on YouTube, and you can learn my thoughts on the incredibly sad passing of the legendary Adam West. Thank you all so very much for watching, and as always, this has been your RazMansReality channel.